Alright guys, how's your new year going? I'm here today with new info on upcoming ninja-type gaming title, Rise of the Ronin. And in this video, as always, we will try to cover each and everything about this game, including release date and all that. Let's get going. Rise of the Ronin looks to be Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo's most ambitious game to date, moving the studio away from being focused on linear, level-based action titles. Rise of the Ronin takes the developers' high-octane action to an open world. But when is the Rise of the Ronin release date? And when can you expect to dip your toes into the historical Japanese setting? Team Ninja have revealed that the game has already been in development for more than half a decade, slowly growing and the concept being honed, so you can expect the team to want to take their time. But we do actually have a window for the Rise of the Ronin release date. The game cut through Tekken and God of War during its reveal at PlayStation's September 2022 State of Play showcase, and stood out from a number of other titles. Although this game won't launch for a while, there's still a lot we know about it, including its release window, some story details, and even information about its gameplay. Rise of the Ronin will launch sometime in 2024, at an unspecified date. The game's director, Fumihiko Yasuda, said this game is undoubtedly the most ambitious and challenging project the studio has ever created, so hopefully, it sticks to its targeted release window. Its development started in 2015, so by the time it launches, it will have been in the works for nearly a decade. Thankfully, there are plenty of games of the same ilk to enjoy in the meantime, like Elden Ring and Assassin's Creed Origins. Rise of the Ronin is still a long way off, as its first trailer might look pretty polished and contain plenty of glimpses of gameplay, but the game won't be coming out until sometime in 2024, according to Team Ninja. That means there's still plenty of time for it to be polished up to a sheen, and we might not get too much more information about it for quite some time, while the developers continue to do their work. This upcoming game is a PS5 console exclusive, meaning it won't come to other systems like Xbox or Nintendo Switch. However, Rise of the Ronin will likely come to PC, just like many other Sony-published games such as Days Gone and Marvel's Spider-Man. It's unclear if and when a PC version will launch, but you can at least count on playing it on PS5, as Rise of the Ronin's release date is set for 2024 on PS5. The game is being published by Sony and therefore will be a PS5 exclusive and not come to other platforms. If a different publisher picks up the game down the line, then maybe we could see it hit Xbox or PC. But as of right now, there isn't much of a chance of that happening. Similarly, with the game releasing in 2024, it won't come to PS4. The trailer was shown during the September 2022 State of Play event, which revealed the game. It was mostly a cinematic trailer, though it did include what appeared to be gameplay. Though it's unclear if these segments will remain in the final product. There's only been a single trailer for Rise of the Ronin so far, but it's more detailed than you'd expect for a game that's still 2 years off release. It features a mixture of in-engine footage and cutscenes, apparently, but gives us a pretty solid overview of the world we'll be exploring and the timeline that we'll be dropped into. Team Ninja is leading the development of Rise of the Ronin. This studio is best known for working on fast-paced action games like Nioh. As game is in development at Team Ninja, the Japanese studio best known for the Dead or Alive, Ninja Gaiden, and Nioh games. In addition, Thnkx Dev is assisting with Rise of the Ronin's production, while Sony serves as publisher. Very little is known about the Rise of the Ronin gameplay just yet, but it appears to be sticking close to what Team Ninja has done in the past, with intense close-quarters sword fighting. However, the added elements of a firearm from the time period and the open-world level design seem to be the major features that make this Team Ninja's most ambitious and challenging project. We also saw in the gameplay trailer some additional ways to traverse the open world, such as a glider and by horseback. Rise of the Ronin is a third-person open-world action RPG, with an emphasis on combat. This is in line with many other Team Ninja games, which focus on fast-paced action. Based on the trailer and screenshots, this game seems like a mix between Assassin's Creed and Ghost of Tsushima, emphasizing exploration, fluid combat, and cinematic gameplay. There's a shot in the trailer that depicts the main character jumping from a tall structure with a glider, similar to the traversal in Breath of the Wild. You'll also get to travel via horseback and on foot. One screenshot depicts a character using a firearm, so it seems there are various ways to battle your foes, not just with a sword. Given Team Ninja's experience developing action games, we have no doubts Rise of the Ronin will feel great to play. As Rise of the Ronin is a combat-focused, third-person open-world action role-playing game. As it is an open-world game, the player is free to explore and do whatever it is they want. Players will also meet various characters in the game, all belonging to their own factions, and each with their own beliefs. The player is free to decide who they want to side with, or maybe even remain neutral. The official blog post claims that each decision that the player makes will matter. That opens the game up for replayability, allowing the player to choose a different side and do different stories and quests. Of course, it is not just an open-world game. The combat of this game, as can be seen in the trailer, offers a wide variety to the player. As the game takes place during the 1860s, the player has access to relatively advanced weaponry, such as revolvers and rifles. Of course, the player does not primarily use these weapons, although nothing is stopping them from doing just that. A variety of era-appropriate weapons are also available for the player to use. These weapons include the katana, grappling hooks, as well as polearm-type weapons like the naginata. These weapons will allow the player to choose from a variety of playstyles, letting the player change their attacks up as they travel in the game. Rise of the Ronin casts you as the titular Ronin in 19th century Japan, as it faces its darkest of times. Oppressive rulers, deadly diseases, and Western influence creeps through the country, and is slowly scarring it as a civil war rages on between the Tokugawa shogunate and the anti-shogunate factions. Bound to no master, you seek to make choices of your own as you traverse through the open world during Japan's most critical revolution. On your journey, you will meet a wide cast of characters with their own motivations and sense of justice that you can choose to side with or against. The game is set during the twilight of Japan's Edo era, in the 19th century. This period was called Bakumatsu, and is marked by outbreaks of disease, civil war, and the arrival of interests from overseas. As you can see from the American embassy glimpsed in the trailer, we'll play as the Ronin from the game's title, without any binding loyalties to leave you free to make choices as you move through the world. Thnkx says that the story will be deep and dark, showcasing the most critical revolution in the history of Japan, including the darkest and ugliest chapters that many will shy away from, which sounds like it could get fairly harrowing. Given the historical details about reprisals carried out in this era, we will apparently get the chance to make plenty of decisions that will impact the story as it unfolds in material ways, so we're looking forward to learning more about the RPG elements at play. As the story is set during the end of the Edo period, also known as the Bakumatsu, it is during this time period when Japan was at one of its lowest points, with enemies from without and within. You take control of a Ronin, a samurai without a master. You are free to do whatever it is you want, and side with whoever you believe is right. Will you side with the Tokugawa shogunate, those who are currently in power, or will you side with the anti-shogunate factions, who aim to bring it down? Better yet, will you side with the foreigners who see Japan as nothing more than a land ripe for conquering? The choice is all yours. As you have known by now, Rise of the Ronin seems like an incredibly ambitious game, and with the long development it has had to fine-tune it, you have to think that Team Ninja has got something special here. So, while we still have a long way until the Rise of the Ronin release date,